Right now, you can go to Twitter or Google and you can find Ripple's CEO. And Ripple is the largest holder of its own token. Sound familiar? So if there's a CEO, if there's a company, if there's a pre-mine, a foundation, an ICO, it's not Bitcoin. And be careful trusting your life savings to a CEO.
I've heard rumors that the Ripple case will be settled December 15th, and we'll just see. And that could have catastrophic implications for the industry.
So welcome back to the Crypto is Key conversation. So we covered a little bit of what Charles Hoskinson said in his previous AMA yesterday. And Digital Asset Investor had put up the segment with Mornings Maria when they said there was a settlement expecting 11/15. And he also continues here, says they never explained what happened. 12/10/2022, Charles Hoskinson said he heard a rumor of a settlement on December 15, 2022. Bitcoin Maxi's bashing XRP a lot lately. Charles seems scared he's not equaling XRP clarity only. So that's a conversation we've been having in the Twitter community, and I think it's a valid point. It's like, okay, first of all, what are all these Maxis and Charles Hoskinson and people that are against the haters of Ripple and XRP? Like, what are they seeing? What are their different narratives and their reasonings of why they're so worried? So here's the thing. We're going to cover some of it within this video here, but there's people talking about like, hey, maybe it's time for Garlinghouse and Ripple, the company, to look after themselves in regards of looking after their company, their utility use case, what they're trying to solve in the world, the digital asset XRP. Everyone's like, okay, well, I can't say everyone. There's been a lot of people within the community that are, kind of freaking out about this so-called settlement rumor that's been going around. They're freaking out because they're saying, what if XRP is the only one that gets clarity? What does that mean for the rest of the industry? And that's kind of what we're saying in regards to what we think Charles Hoskinson means by, what did he say? Let me go back right here so we can hear it again.
Just see, and that could have catastrophic implications for the industry.
Catastrophic implications for the industry. I mean, quite honestly, I can kind of see both sides. I mean, obviously, Garlinghouse and Ripple, obviously they're trying to fight the good fight for the entire industry. But at the end of the day, they're a startup company, a company that are, legit setting up partnerships with banks and businesses around the world. And they're trying to, scale and move forward in solving real world problems with cross-border remittances and whatnot. And then you have the digital asset XRP, the XRPL, and so much positive that can come out of this technology. It's like at some point they've put over $100 million into this lawsuit. So at some point they got to really, stand for themselves. And Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alderati, and the like have been saying like there's no settlement without pure and outright clarity for the digital asset XRP, especially going on a going forward basis. So who knows what's going to happen? We'll see if this rumor is correct. Eleanor Terrett says it's not true. So there's other people in the industry that we trust in the XRP community that's been saying the same. So it's just kind of a weighing game. There's people that were even talking about like, we've been hearing about rumors of settlements, for 2 years now. So I kind of feel the same way. Just kind of a waiting game. I'm kind of more leaning towards what, Jeremy Hogan and James K. Fallon talk about in regards of, March of 2023. Who knows? We know that there's an end game here. It's just a matter of when. And obviously it's going to be sometime in 2023 at the latest. So, fingers crossed. We'll kind of see what happens with that. But moving on here, Digital Asset Investor says, the Bitcoin maxis seem to be raging over XRP lately. Kramer calls it a con. Hoskinson seems scared that he's next, and even mentions that Bitcoin and Ethereum. Is XRP about to be the only digital asset with clarity? Anyone see those Hinman documents? So just to kind of simplify this right here, we've been talking in this community for years now. Like, what if it were that, XRP, with its right and just in a fair level playing field, really became one of the top, or if not the top, digital asset. And this is another version of that. If they get the regulatory clarity XRP needs, and it's in a sense the shackles are broken off of it, and it's allowed to flourish and do what it's set out to do. It's like, man, what does that mean? What does that implicate? So I'm really excited for the future of XRP, the Ripple company. And what they're doing. I'm excited to be a part of this community. Obviously, it's one digital asset that I invest in. There's obviously several that I invest in as well. Ethereum, Bitcoin being another, some of the others. But I'm really excited about what the future holds for this. Mason had put up something. He says, if XRP lawsuit was really ending on December 15th, it would be pumping right now or tomorrow. So I think this is a valid opinion, and quite honestly, in my opinion, I think the same. It's like, don't you think that there would be some sort of insider information? Not saying that it would come from the Ripple camp, but I mean, really, don't you think we'd be seeing some sort of movement by now? I mean, we'll see, I guess. XRP is currently sitting at 38 cents right now. No movement within the past hour, 24 hours. It's down 1.4%, sitting at 38 cents. So I don't know. I kind of agree with that. I definitely would expect some sort of movement, some sort of price action. David Goxton says, we need Ripple to win the case and not settle. Worst case scenario, the Ripple settles, but I don't know if they'll provide clarity for the entire industry. Mr. Intuitive Trumors only says, sorry, David. It may be time that Ripple has to do what's best for itself moving forward. Can't trust these legal decisions. We expose a good amount, though. Other projects can start putting in the sweat, too. Cowboy Crypto says the amount of corruption XRP Army has exposed is monumental. So, I mean, straight up, I mean, that's a valid point. Obviously, you know, with us in the XRP community, especially some of the solid members within in the community, we want, you know, the health and wellness for the entire space. John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan, you know, they say it best. They talk about us being on, you know, one team, being on the same team. We got to fight for the entire industry. And it's like, at some point, man, they put up over 100 million, so much time, over 2 years of scrutiny, not even counting the years. Oh, my God, it's going to annoy me. Not even counting the years in time that they've been scrutinized, put down, and suppressed by, you know, powerful members within, you know, the world, members on social media, you know, government officials, whatever the case is. There's been years and years that Ripple, the company, and XRP have just been, you know, beat down. So it's time for them to get theirs. And it's time for the community to get, you know, I guess some positives out of all this as well, me being included in that. And that's just my opinion. So definitely want the health and wellness for the entire industry. But hey, man, they've been fighting the good fight, man. And when the lawsuit dropped and there was all these haters talking about, oh, you know, Ripple's going to lose and that's what they get, XRP crap coin. It's like, all right, well, the truth will sell itself. And XRP and Ripple are clearly on the right side of the law, on the right side of history. And just a kind of a waiting game to kind of see what happens. This is a long thread from John Deaton, and I highly recommend you come in and read this. I thought it was very intriguing. I'm just going to cover a couple here. It says, is Ripple going to lose because Library lost? I predicted if Library lost, two things would happen. One, the SEC would rush the decision to Judge Torres acting as Supreme Court ruled. And two, people would come out of the shadows and claim Ripple and XRP will share the same fate. And that's exactly what we've seen. Many of these folks haven't read one brief in the case, and the ones that did read the SEC's last brief, which in all honesty was the SEC's best work product in the case. It was better because it was a reply brief responding to Ripple's argument. But Ripple doesn't have the burden of proof. The SEC does. The SEC did a decent job at replying to Ripple's pre-1934 Blue Sky Laws agreement. The SEC also did a decent job attacking Ripple's argument that there must be an underlying contract for an investment contract to exist. Some of you may remember when Ripple's initial summary judgment brief was filed, I immediately said it was an appellate ready brief, in that it was written specifically for the Second Circuit and above. Ripple is hoping to win at the district court, but is playing the long game. I'm on video stating that it was a brilliant argument and that I hated it for the district court level. For example, Ripple argues that the word scheme used by the Supreme Court is how he applies only after the court first finds that an underlying contract exists. I don't believe Judge Torres is going to agree with that argument. It would require her to believe Judge Castell was wrong in Telegram, as well as several appellate courts. Ripple's best chances at winning at this level is with a straight highway analysis, which brings us to Library. The Ripple XRP case in the Second Circuit, Library isn't. Plus, Library didn't contest the common enterprise factor. Ripple and XRP holders who were granted amicus by the judge more than 1 year before any other amici joined, vigorously contest the common enterprise prong of Howey. A common enterprise under the law, quote, the existence of a common enterprise may be demonstrated through either horizontal commonality or vertical commonality. There are two types of vertical commonalities. One, strict vertical commonality and broad vertical commonality. The Second Circuit has rejected broad vertical commonality, and the Second Circuit has never officially adopted strict vertical commonality, although district courts have discussed it. What this means is that SEC needs to establish horizontal commonality to guarantee a win. So I'm not going to finish the rest of this, but it's super intriguing, and he does a great job of breaking it down. John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan do a great job of really making this kind of easy to follow, especially with all the like the legal jargon and stuff. I mean, it's way over my head, but he does a solid job. Jeremy Hogan's responding to Abundancy X. Says Michael Saylor is right. All these tokens, ETH, XRP, etc., are unregistered securities. The only one that isn't, that I know of, is BTC. Any project acting as a company and has sold their token to fund their operations is an unregistered security. Jeremy Hogan says, my friend just opened a candle store. About 65 cents of every dollar she brings in from sales going to buying more inventory, overhead, etc. Is she also selling a security? If not, what's the difference? So coming down here, XRP says, people who bought the candles only bought candles. They didn't buy the candles with the hope that the candles they bought will be worth more in the future, because the seller reinvested the money they got from selling the candles. There's no investment contract. And then Jeremy Hogan says, bingo. So kind of just putting into different examples. And you know, for us that's been in the community, been following this case, I mean, we're kind of just way over this Howie stuff, and it's clear Ripple's position in regards of, you know, what are they attacking, you know, with a lot of force. And obviously they can attack the SEC's claims in so many directions, which they have, but that's one of the big ones. You kind of shut the Howie stuff down. I mean, and there you go. When it comes to the talks of a settlement, I was listening to why am I blanking on the name? I was listening to a YouTuber that I follow, and they were doing a great job of kind of explaining the reasons why a settlement is, in a sense, good for both sides, because obviously there's some give and take on both sides, and what are they willing to risk is what they're saying. Obviously Chairman Gensler and the SEC don't want to risk power, right? And then when it comes to Ripple, the company, you know, they don't want to risk more money, more time, and then a potential negative outcome. So who knows what the government can do in regards of their corruption and shadiness? Like, who knows what's going to happen with these, you know, regulations and legalities, right? So it's like, at some point, a settlement would make sense on both sides. Now it's just a matter of, you know, can they both meet? It may not be in the middle. Some may be losing more than the other, but it's like, it makes sense. And in my opinion, based on, you know, the evidence, I can agree to that. But then again, I can see why people would want to go the distance as well. And quite honestly, just like Brad Garlinghouse and them said, you know, if we don't get clear, pure, and outright regulatory clarity for XRP, it's not going to happen. So, Jungle Inc. That's I was watching one of Jungle Inc.'s video, and he does a great job of explaining it. So I really like this from Jungle Inc. as well. It says, the Bearable Bull says, Ripple sells XRP in a way similar to how Exxon sells oil. Oil is not a security of Exxon, similar to how XRP is not a security of Ripple. Both are assets. Few understand this. So Jungle Inc. says, even if Michael Saylor is right, meaning like these are unregistered securities, the answer isn't to shut down highly valuable systems of the future. The answer is sensible regulations. And I completely agree with that. We need regulations that are sensible and that are fair and just, and that allows a space to flourish. It doesn't need to hinder this innovation or growth. I mean, and that's just how I feel. JV says this. He says, after Ripple and XRP, the SEC has to go after another top crypto project. 2023 is going to be interesting with a guaranteed resolution to the Ripple case. So we talked a lot about, you know, implications, or like what it can imply if Ripple settles, and how other projects like Charles Hoskinson's and ADA are maybe kind of shaking in their boots type thing. But like, so obviously we know we're having a resolution when it comes to Ripple versus SEC. Okay, obviously that's going to have some sort of, you know, massive. I guess it can be catastrophic, but we anticipate in our community that it's going to be very positive for XRP, knowing the stance of Ripple within litigation, right? So when it comes to Chairman Gensler and the SEC, they've already kind of foreshadowed, if you will, other projects that they're coming after. Clearly from the beginning, John Deaton said it when the lawsuit dropped. He's like, hey, if you're a hater of XRP and Ripple and you think they're not coming after you, you're sadly wrong. They're coming after all crypto, and it's been quite evident. They're going after YouTubers, people of positions of power, influence, platforms. They're even trying to come after decentralized exchanges, centralized exchanges, other digital asset projects. I mean, they're coming after everybody. So they've been implying, you know, Ethereum, you know, it got the Ethereum free pass from Bill Hinman, you know, back in 2018. But it's like, now it's like, oh, now they converted over to proof of stake. Now it's, you know, in the old security realm. If they're coming after Ethereum, they went after XRP and Ripple. I mean, they went after Library. They went after other digital assets. They're coming after everybody. So 2023 should be quite interesting, especially if there's a settlement, because what are the settlement terms? Are they going to be able to suppress and redact certain vital components to the case that other projects can utilize to strengthen their position if they get sued by the SEC? If that is, I mean, that's going to be tragic. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff surfaced on, social media, especially like with the XRP community service and a lot of the shady stuff from, FTX scandal and, ETHgate scandal and all that stuff, right? Government corruptions and all that stuff. But it should be quite interesting. And I 100% agree with JV here, man. It's going to be nuts. John Deaton's responding to Mr. Well here. Mr. Well says, Senator John Tester, who serves as a Senate Banking Committee, says of crypto, quote, I see no reason why this stuff should exist. So I don't know when this was said, but John Deaton says this is our leadership. All it does is react to headlines and continue to be clueless. That's the leadership. And speaking of leadership, Cowboy Crypto did a poll here. It says best crypto leader: Brad Garlinghouse, Charles Hawkinson, CZ, Vitalik Buterin. So some of the big players within the industry, and Brad Garlinghouse is killing it right now. Over 2,300 votes, 16 hours left with almost a 90% rating there, which I highly agree. That's huge. So, I mean, there's a lot that's going on. We're still sitting under $900 billion dollar market cap, sitting at 880 billion. Bitcoin Fear Greed Index sitting at 26. But that's what I have for you. It's going to be just kind of a waiting game to kind of see what happens. Obviously, myself, in my opinion, I feel positive about what's going to happen with the Ripple versus SEC litigation. 2023 should be quite interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of geopolitical things, drone pound inflation, you have wars, conflicts. I mean, there's a lot of different things going on. So they're talking, obviously, there's the whole spin of, are we in a recession? Are we going to be in a recession? People are saying we are already in a recession per the definition of what a recession is. People are talking about depressions. I mean, there's so many different narratives going on. It's like, it's too much to handle. It makes your head spin. At the end of the day, I'm taking it day by day. That's just my personal strat and doing my best to position myself for what this future holds, because I do see the writing on the wall. And I truly believe, based on the evidence that is presented to me, that this future for the digital asset space, crypto, especially Ripple, the company, and XRP, is bright. That's what I have for you. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at CryptoIsKey1. I really appreciate you guys' support. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.